My name is Bilal and I am the co-founder and CEO of Creative 3D, and this topic is very near to my heart. So let's try to understand what the topic is. So basically the topic is that building the future of construction, and in this specific there is a specific technology which has disrupted the market called 3D printing technology or additive manufacturing technology. So we learn about how this technology works and why is it important that this technology should be implemented, how houses are built. Okay, so let's talk about problem number one, affordability. Throughout the world, is having your own house is a dream or is it a necessity of life? Because usually when we see real estate developers selling their properties, they're talking about your dream property, they're talking about your dreams coming true. But in actual and in reality, it should not be a dream. A house should be a necessity that everyone should be having it. Right? So there's a small video that I want you to see. I'll translate it once it happens. So this boy was asked that what do you want? He said that I want to leave. So the person asked, why do you want to leave? So he said, I want to go to masjid and I want to pray to Allah. So he asked, what do you want to pray to Allah? So he said, I want to pray to Allah that everybody should have a house and Allah give me the money to pay, so that I can pay my rent. Now this child is around 6 to 7 years old. So this talks about the mentality that if he had one chance to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what he wants, he wanted money so that he can pay the rent. So that tells us that how much importance of a house is. So very similarly, right now as we talk about, there are 100 million people without houses. So there are 100 million people who are homeless. Moreover, as we said before that, it is a basic necessity of life. House should be a basic necessity of life. As we speak, every day there is a requirement of 96,000 houses. Every day there is a requirement of 96,000 houses. Currently there are 100 million people who are homeless, and moreover by the year 2030 there will be a requirement of more than 3 billion houses throughout the world. But is that really a big problem? There's a requirement of big houses. A lot of houses are required. Yes, it is. Why? Because 60% of the workforce that used to work in the construction are leaving construction, and new people are not entering into the construction industry. Why? Because there are more other industries which are more easy to be a part of. For example, software, for example, gaming, because it's not very hands-on, physically challenging as construction is. So 60% of it is being reduced. So let's understand. Now this is a very important topic that I want to cover. What do real estate people sell? Are they selling dreams? Are they selling houses that you wish to have? But on a very contrary, whenever they're selling a house, they're destroying a house in another part of the world. Now how is it possible that if they're making a house, how can they destroy another house? It's global warming. This is a very big problem right now, that construction is causing a huge problem when it comes to global warming. Let's understand what this global warming means. Approximately 36% of the carbon emission and the global warming happening throughout the world is due to the construction industry. So at one point of time, we are creating houses, but another point of time, we are destroying houses in terms of floods, in terms of storms, in terms of natural disasters happening in another part of the world. So 36% of the entire global warming is due to construction industry only. Moreover, we see that the glaciers are melting, and then there is a change in the temperature. In fact, we saw Saudi Arabia becoming green, which was never a part of Saudi Arabic region. Now, how is that possible? Because the dynamics of climate is being changed. So, the construction industry itself is responsible for 50% of the climate change which is happening throughout the world, and which is massive. Okay, so now let's analyze.
So 37 is related to the global warming and 50% of the climatic change.
So 36% is according to the carbon footprint, and 50% is because of the climate change, which happens due to that carbon footprint. Okay, now let's understand one more thing, that is construction industry only target towards the climate change and the carbon the CO2 emissions? No, it's not. In fact, 23% of the entire air pollution happening throughout the world, construction industry is the reason for it. Number two, 40% of the drinking water is contaminated because of construction industry. Number three, 50% of our landfills are with the chemicals and the things that are used in construction industry. So now we're talking about on a very global level that yes, a contractor may show you that yes, a house is being built or a building is being constructed, but it has a very wrong effect on our earth globally. So let's watch this video. So now we are not only talking about the global warming, we are also talking about the agricultural industry, we are also talking about human health, we are talking about the smog which is happening, we are talking about the pollution which is happening, we are also talking about the fishes that are dying inside the ocean, and construction industry is responsible for it, 30% responsible for whatever is happening in our environment. So one more.
Buildings are causing 36% of CO2 emissions in Europe. This is mainly due to the use of fossil fuels to heat and cool these buildings. These processes release greenhouse gases. There are 3 ways in which greenhouse gas emissions can be reduced. 1. Let's avoid heat loss by consciously choosing better insulation, windows and window blinds, not forgetting good ventilation. This is known as the policy for the increased energy efficiency of buildings. 2. Let's install more efficient heating and cooling equipment. In other words, products that are able to provide more heating or cooling with the same amount of energy. This comes down to the policy for more energy efficient building products and technology.
Okay. Chalo boys, you do it. So now if we talk about the
Buildings
change.
are causing
Alright.
36.
So this is very important to understand why this change is happening. And when we started analyzing this change, so now we go back to our story. So our story starts 3 years ago when the first robot that Creative 3D built. Now I'll tell you how this problem and this solution will be connected together. But let's start with this specific journey. So our very first robot was built with the capacity of drawing anything on the paper with looking at the screen. So, and this entire thing was made from one CD-ROM. Moreover, there was a vision that I might be able to make everything I see, and it was inspired by a cartoon called Shakalaka Boom Boom. So maybe if I had that technology with me where I could make anything I want, I could change this entire world with the way the things happening in this world. So that gave us the encouragement to make our first 3D printer back in the university. And this is how the first ever 3D printer looked like. So when we talk about 3D printing technology, it's about having a particular design and then turning that design from imagination into reality. So the possibilities are endless in this specific technology. Now we'll try to understand how we can relate this specific technology and solve the problems that we talked about earlier. Okay, so our journey was very nice. Till we manufactured 3D printers, we were giving services to more than 20 industries. But where was this pivotal shift that we wanted to create and get into the construction market? There was one specific event which happened in Pakistan that caught us thinking that no, we need to change our direction and we need to do something huge, something meaningful, something more impactful. And that incident was when Pakistan faced a flood in 2022, where more than 20 million people lost their houses. Now this gave us that kick that can we do something about it with the technology that we have, and a solution came up as concrete 3D printing.
20 million people in Pakistan who don't have houses can get their own houses. Hello Emirates Love Pakistan, this is Razvan Afridi and I'm
I think there is an internet problem, but as we go on, yes, there is a possibility of manufacturing these houses 10 times faster, 4 times cheaper. So if you use this technology to construct houses, it's almost zero waste. So therefore, no wastage goes in landfills. Number 2, it's 99% it reduces water while constructing houses. Number 3, there's a 92% reduction in the carbon footprint. Number 4, you can reduce the theft and you can exactly know how much forecast will be to make your houses. Moreover, are these houses more expensive to build? No, they are not. They're 4 times cheaper, they're 10 times faster. In fact, if you want to make a house which takes a grey structure of approximately 6 months, it can be done within 6 days. So this is how this technology can revolutionize not only the construction industry, but it can help you to save the earth, which is facing a global warming at this point of time. Now let's talk another thing aspect. Mostly the carbon footprint is due to the use of energy that is required in the house. But if you use this specific technology, you can reduce the energy by 30% with these houses. And how these work? So it's basically layer of concrete being added on top of one another and making the house in a very streaming way. If we talk about the market size of concrete 3D printing right now, by 2031, this market will increase to a massive size of $1.2 trillion. So we're not talking about billions, we're talking about trillions, and this is a very amount that we have come up with is a very conservative amount. Moreover, if we talk about why Saudi Arabia is the right market to start, back in 2017, almost 8 years ago, when this technology was on the rise, which was hardly there, Saudi Arabia did an MOU with China where they wanted to import 100 concrete 3D printers over here and had to manufacture approximately a cost of $1.5 billion. So currently Saudi Arabia is one of those progressive countries which want to get into this technology. Moreover, main organizations like Invest Saudi and Ministry of Construction is really looking forward for this technology that to be enabled in Saudi Arabia. Moreover, by the Vision 2030, there are more than 7,000 factories in Saudi Arabia, and by the Vision 2030, they're looking to automate more than 4,000 of them. So it's a huge market for people to enter. Moreover, there's a big project which is being launched in Taif, where they are trying to use concrete 3D printers to make those houses come into reality. So if we talk about team, no dream can be achieved without a team. So we have 3 people with us on our team, which is the co-members. It's me, Bilal Khan Afridi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Creative 3D Arabia. I have Atif with me, who is the CTO and the co-founder of Creative 3D Arabia. And then we have another person back in Pakistan, which is called Smile. So this is my number and my email if you want to ever contact me, and we can have a conversation about how this technology can be implemented in Saudi Arabia. Thank you.